Okay, so I'm going to actually get started with the webinar. My name is Renee Varro, and Raghu is going to be joining me.
Hello, everyone.
So Raghu and I are both based out of California, and we work at SoftClouds. Okay, I'm going to show you the agenda for today. Okay, so we're going to be starting with discussing the utility industry and CX. These are some of the topics that I'll be covering. And then next, I'll be jumping into utility CX platforms. And then Raghu will discuss utility CX use cases and some of our implementations. And then I'll be jumping in and discussing the future of CX utilities, and then just telling you briefly about SoftClouds. And at the end, we're going to have a QA section where we'll be answering some of your questions. And throughout the webinar, we'll have several polls. Okay, great.
Yes, so, Renee, let me take a minute to introduce myself, and then probably we can go off the video so team can focus on the presentation and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So, hello, everyone. My name is Raghavendra Oniche. I work as Solutions Architect and Technical Project Manager at SoftClouds. I have 15 years of customer experience and project implementation for CRM and CX space for various domains. I have a functional expertise to transform your business cases to a customer 360-degree view for increasing the customer experience and agent productivity and reducing the cost for your organizations. So looking forward for today's sessions, and like Renee has mentioned in the agenda, we'll go through all these sections. So Renee, let's focus on the presentation slides, and we can go off the video. That's fine, right?
Sounds good. Okay, bye everyone.
All right, thank you.
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an overview as to what's expected for 2023 for the utility industry. Okay, since 2021, EY research found that more than 80 energy providers have gone out of business in competitive markets. Why? Well, there are several reasons. One is rising prices have fueled customer interest in clean energy and energy efficiency, and help accelerate customer adoption of new solutions like electric vehicles and solar panels. In addition, increased government pressure around decarbonization and adopting cleaner energy sources, electrification, and related infrastructure needs have made the situation even more complex. At the same time, newsworthy disruptions in service due to adverse weather events like the numerous wildfires, heat waves, freezes, and storms across the U.S. recently only add to consumers' perceptions that they might not be able to count on their local utility. This year, U.S. utilities have a multi-pronged ambition to realize how to provide customers with reliable, affordable, sustainable energy and safe water. Management at many utilities feel a sense of urgency around these challenges and the related energy transition, but change won't happen overnight. Capital only goes so far, and keeping costs low to avoid rate hikes in a down economy is critical. Meanwhile, reliability underpins the utility's operating license and can't be ignored, ensuring an equitable transition will take time and a diverse energy mix. As the market evolves, new players with new capabilities will continue entering the playing field, adding even more complexity. Utilities must determine today how and where they play, both in the short term and long term, and focus their investments and resources on actions to enable that strategy. So the bottom line is that the entire utility industry needs a customer experience, or CX, overhaul to engage better with their customers. And you can see some of the stats on the right side. So those are interesting to take note of. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually compare the information on two slides. So as you can see, several U.S. utility companies are listed on this slide. The red box at the bottom, right over here, Duke Energy Carolinas, has actually the smallest number of customers compared to well, it's one of the companies with the smallest amount of customers compared to all the other ones. And these numbers are actually in thousands. Okay, so next I'm going to show you this slide, which is actually top US utility companies by revenue. So you can see Duke Energy Carolinas, even though it was at the bottom before, it's now at the top of this list. So there are many different factors that come into play, like geography, rates, different services that are offered by each utility company. But CX also is important too as well. And what you can see from both the two sides is that having many customers doesn't always translate into having higher revenue. So that is something to take into consideration. But having a good CX is one of the top contributors to revenue for several reasons, which will be shown you next. Also, please note that several of the companies listed on the slide have already worked with soft clouds to improve their CX. And right now they're actually using our managed services for upkeep. Okay, on this next slide, we are actually, let's see, before we get started, let's first of all define what customer experience is, or CX. Okay, so the simple answer is that CX is how customers view their journey with your brand. It's pretty subjective, since every customer has their own definition of a good experience. What we know is that customer support is a vital component of CX. So speed of service, delivery, convenience, and just having a friendly staff all influence CX. The two previous slides that I showed you actually provide that a good CX can help increase revenue. So what can you do to improve CX? Let's look at some of the 5 expectations listed on this slide. Okay, first one, mobile access to utility accounts. 2, automated scheduling. 3, digital self-service. 4, predictive grid network operations and maintenance. And 5, prescriptive personalization. Okay, now we're going to have a poll. I'll give you a couple of seconds to finish that. Okay, so what you see in this slide are a list of a lot of different software companies to select from. And not every company offers the same type of features. And something to think about is, as I mentioned, customer experience is how customers view their journey with your brand. Now, on this slide, I actually mentioned customer engagement, which is important to consider too. It's more about maintaining contact with the client over time. CE refers to all communication between the client and the company. And let's see, in this diagram, the left side refers to platforms used for tracking different aspects of CX, such as consumer data and analytics, loyalty, personalization, and optimization, consumer data platforming, and customer feedback and survey. While the right side refers to platforms used for tracking different aspects of CE, or customer engagement, such as marketing and advertising tech, support and engagement channels, call analytics and contact centers, and customer relationship management. So the key is to, work with a company that covers both, like Salesforce or Oracle or SAP. And you can see on both sides of the diagram that you can see the logos too, like Oracle is at the top for consumer data and analytics. You also might see it at the top of marketing and advertising tech and other areas too for customer engagement. Same thing with some of the other companies listed here, like Salesforce. So it's good to find a platform that provides you with many different things. Okay. All right, so this graph is just to show you that the demand for CX and CE has gone up by over 165% between 2018 and 2022. So it's just to show that, there definitely is a need for working on both aspects. Okay, so now Raghu is actually going to be jumping in and discussing utility CX use cases.
Thanks, Renee. So for CX use case, let's go through some of the use cases. But before getting into use cases, let's talk about in general how the suite of CX looks like. Renee, yep, that's a good slide. Thank you. So from customer experience for utilities has...
Okay, so I'm going to actually jump in for a little bit for Raghu.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
The utility sector CX, you can see that there is a complete customer platform. There's many different types of connected experiences that are being provided through it. So, starting with like product design, jumping to marketing campaigns, then working on, maybe e-commerce, sales and account management, which is part of like the CRM aspect of it, self-service dashboard, agent service, field service, and then launch, which actually ties into the launch. We have design time, simplified MPI, product lifecycle management. And then we have marketing campaign management, omni-channel comms, segmentation and targeting.
Let me explain more in terms of these platforms, right? So as I was mentioning, the customer experience for utilities has evolved greatly in the last decade. As the technology is growing with connected devices, smart homes, and growth in the EV market, it is also increasing the demand in the consumption of energy. At the same time, consumers are becoming actually the producers of energy as well. This evolution has changed the expectations of consumer to be more engaged and build relationships with them to thrive in the business and to also support the social goals like decarbonization. So from consumer experience perspective, what are the key areas directly impacting them? In general, as an end consumer, for me, we could say the billing aspect of it. And most of the consumers do not understand the jargons of kilowatt hours or cubic meters. They speak in the language of dollars and cents, right? So sending them proactive updates on changes in demand or rates and projected bills will build a trust with the consumer and organizations. And next aspect would be the outages. Let's keep the weather outages aside. Let's talk only from the data standpoint of view. So demand management is a huge factor for utilities to reduce the outages. Only when there is information known on usage pattern of the consumers, utilities can manage the demand well and reduce the outages proactively. So proactively notifying to consumers on possible outages than being reactive will earn the appreciation. Outages can be of for any utility, be it gas, be it electricity, it could be waste management or even water supply, right? And what kind of new offerings these organizations can provide to the consumers. So personalizing these offerings of services based on each consumer will enhance the strong relationship. For example, especially during the pandemic time, notification of elderly support, they're alone, but energy providers are able to give a feature of notifying what is happening at the home. Something has been changed in the behavior pattern, right? So that is a great feature. Updating the changes that last time probably the bill was projected to be 50, now it is 150. The change possibly could be this particular usage pattern. And giving them the guidelines to efficiently manage the energy on a regular basis. These kind of new service offerings are engaging the customers very well. And some of the core features why they trust some of the brands, which we have seen in the first top 10 consumers. So let's see how the CX is going to help on building this trust and brand with the customers. So what is the next big thing in utility space? How we can get this kind of behavior data? So there is a rise in smart homes, smart meters, smart grids, and with the bidirectional flow of data to and fro from the homes to the energy companies, this data will be the key driver in identifying the demand management, usage patterns, and consumer behavior. And is a great opportunity to personalize the services for our customers. So if we see the suite of customer experience tools, let's focus on the foundation level. You will see a cloud infrastructure will become a must mandate to have an advantage to managing the data by the provider itself and reduce the dependency of having resources and skills needed for this infrastructure management at your organization. So the cloud services are going to be a great tool and ease of managing this platform at the core. And Data 360 comes in the data layer next above the infrastructure piece. So we spoke about the smart homes and sending data from smart meters and then to smart grids, right? This data will be huge and which will need to be analyzed and curated to know the customer analysis. So Data 360-degree provides ability to store this data and model them intelligently for the relevant usage. The above applications like marketing, sales, and service are very tightly integrated with the data layer. Example, marketing team can use the data to design the campaigns and target the consumers with personalization. Sales, commerce, and CPQ will help to provide standardized sales process and better customer experience. Service platform provides self-service portals, omni-channel experience, be it chatbots, emails, dashboards, self-service portals. From consumer enrollment as well. Like today, I can go and enroll myself on the web pages, choosing and managing the plans, where the rates are high, low, when should I on my EV, etc. Right? And the usage metrics. So service platform is a great tool to collaborate with the customers from the customer engagement standpoint. Okay. So the above top layer, we have a lot of modules which are between this core marketing, sales, and service. We'll go through in detail in the next upcoming slides for each of those use cases. Okay. Renee, can we please move to the next slide? Thank you. So let's see how the use cases can be applicable in field service area. What are the key capabilities for a field service management for utilities, right? The first one would be the order management. Today, many organizations provide their field engineers with mobile devices for accessing the information. But how many of them are really integrated with orders and inventory? Having a good field service management application with integration to the ERP systems can break the barrier of being siloed and make it more efficient. And integration with inventory management and availability of parts on the scheduled time will save time and cost. Location tracking for field service technicians and route optimization is a must feature, right? Accessing the knowledge repository while the engineer is performing on the job is key too. And we'll see that use case and workflow in just next few seconds. Enablement of time tracking while on performing the job and managing the logs real time. Integrating with the payment system for generating the invoices. should be automated, and portals for customers to access the regular updates on where is my service order, what is the current status, etc. So these are the great features which every field service management should have, and application should be integrated to make it more efficient for the organizations and for the field reps and for the customers eventually. So also with the emerging technologies, we can take automation to the next level and make information available both online as well as offline. Example, most of the field agents will be working in big buildings, basements, where there will be low network. So it is important to have ability to work in offline mode. Okay. Let's see quick use case example. A water utility company uses field service to complete a service order for replacing valves in a municipal building. Okay. In this use case, let's say customer has placed a service order to replace the valves in a building. Field service application tracks that order status and adds needed parts via integration. Order is approved and assigned to the field agent. Now in the workflow, we can see here that field agent checks today's service order along with the parts are needed in the truck. Application shows the best time to reach the location by considering the job duration. Maybe morning 8 o'clock, it's heavy traffic. So it's better to go 10 o'clock instead of 2 hours of spending in the traffic. 1 hour is the optimizational route. And the job duration is needed for 3 hours. So 10 to 1 could be a schedule. Or the next option would be 1 to 4, rather than again scheduling it at 4 to 6, avoiding the traffic again. So the route optimization on the second point is very key, and we'll talk about in advantages what it will gain us as well. Now, from picking that particular job and selecting that particular address, going to the particular location, the next step of the flow will be each valve will be requiring a specific instruction for proper replacement. So there should be a articles guided workflow for the agent through completing the particular job while he's performing on that particular task. And after job completion, field service utility agent should be able to add logs on how the job went, and they should be able to update the status of the case in real time. So advantages of this particular field service application as a CX is automation of your order and inventory checklist prior to the arrival, simplifies the workflow to improve your first time fix rate, and application will lower your fuel expenses and less time in the truck, and avoiding the paperwork. Customers will receive service faster and improves the satisfaction. So we have implemented Oracle Field Service solutions for major water dispenser company recently. A couple of months back, we completed, and we're doing managed services for them now, where customers were using the Google Sheets for their installation and repair services. Their CRM and ERP systems were Zendesk and NetSuite. Still, it got integrated with Oracle Field Service in this particular implementation. And we transformed their solution to automation. And today, agents are using mobile and avoiding paperwork and doing first time fix rate very well. Let's move to next slide. So the next use case, which we're talking from CX perspective, is knowledge management. So knowledge management is a very empowering tool for support agents, service agents, and consumers as well. So let's talk about some specific examples where knowledge management will be efficient. We have seen a good trend in using this platform in the last few years, especially in utility and energy area. And we've also implemented some of for the major energy corporations we have seen in the first couple of slides. And we'll talk about it in greater detail later during the implementation time. So let's ask ourselves a quick question. How long does the employee onboarding process take at my organization, your organization today, right? Knowledge management provides quick guides to new hires to speed up their knowledge and onboarding. It helps them ensure that every employee is level set from day one. Example, tutorials can be built for each department of your organization, be it sales department, marketing department, customer support department, field service, shipping. It could be any department. You can have a curated article set built for them, and trainings can be conducted using knowledge management, using the knowledge management repository. Okay. Next, you can ask question: how many of your customer support agents really know the products and services you are offering today? And how often the rates and rebates and programs will keep changing? How well are they updated, right? It's really hard to manage the day-to-day information for them, feeding them. So information about your organization products and services at the fingertips for your customer support agents is going to make them more reliable and help the customers determine which ones are the best products for them to support and guide and suggest when they're talking to the customers. Each department in utilities can have data regarding specific functions. And it's important for them to know and able to easily search by product category, and it could be natural keywords and get the information within few seconds. Knowledge management tool reduces time spent in searching for the answer and spending more time with the quality time with the customer. Employee morale is going to be improved by for the agents without reinventing the wheel. From the consumer standpoint of view, if you look at here, it is a great self-service tool. So it is a very convenient way for the customers to manage their utility services. For example, you can have articles for their residential purpose for energy efficiency, how to improve your home efficiency better. You can they can go through it and follow those instructions. You can create case studies for business customers, explaining how other companies have built energy efficient offices. You can put videos showing how to install the products like thermostats. You can have frequently answered questions and how to initiate a change request or service. And if there are outages, you can put live interactive outage maps using the knowledge management platform. So the advantages, it will provide an accurate data based on natural language query searches. It will establish a centralized repository at your organization, same information available for customers, agents. And you can have profiles and permissions. What articles should be available for legal team? What articles should be available for your marketing team? Only the specific team has to see. It will have all those workflows and permissions given, configured, right? And with the collaboration of productivity of agents, customers using the web, it is going to reduce your call volume and reduce your operational costs at your organization. So that's a great knowledge management use cases tool, which we have discussed. Let's move to the next slide. So here we're talking about Intelligent Advisor. I'm not sure how many of you have heard about this. This is, let's say, the CX platform like Oracle has Intelligent Advisor tool, which are tightly integrated on the service portal, service platform. What do this Intelligent Advisor actually do, right? The CX tool here has a automation engine with interview pages. You might have experienced this when you've gone to some of those web pages where it will ask a workflow set of questions, and the questions will vary based on answers you give, right? So they deliver dynamic, personalized customer service responses to each customer. Example, a customer is filling an online web form for a rebate program qualification. Or it can be a simple inquiry on how can I make my home energy efficient, or it can be a different question where why was my last month bill high. So these can be any questions. So if you take an example of online web form here, the intelligent advisor interview page will be plugged onto your web page or chat pages, and sequential questions will be asked. Now what kind of questions it could be: what is your address, to identify the zip code, location, region, etc. How many people are there in your household, and what is your household income? Do you have an EV car? Do you have solar installed? It will check all these criteria and post the questions dynamically, and it can auto approve and reject for these qualified programs, and it will reduce the manpower needed and increase the process to be faster for the customer as well, real time, right? These flows not only can be designed for the consumer or customer standpoint of view, they can be agent specific, they can be department specific on your CX platform. Also, the great advantage this particular tools will have less time spent on the business process, and business team actually can go ahead and author these rules by themselves, because it's a simple Word document with natural language. You don't have any dependency with the IT teams needed, and you don't need to wait for longer time to deploy them into production. It will be real time. We have implemented various solutions for multiple clients in this area as well, be it while customer is doing an enrollment or customer is validating their address eligibility, plan eligibility, and automating the approval processes. So this could be one of the great use case to add on to your customer journey in CX space. Next slide, please. All right. Surveys. This is one of our favorite tool, and it's a must. We all know that most of the CX platforms, like be it Oracle, Salesforce, Zendesk, Zoho, etc., most of them come with customer portal, agent portal, multiple channels of communication via be it self-service, chat, interactive voice response, that is IVR integration with your phone systems, emails, SMS. Now, how can we enhance this customer experience to next level with service platform? So in utility area, we talked about smart grids, enabling new technologies to be integrated with wind, solar energy, production to help manage electric demands, right? Earlier in the initial slides. These are huge bidirectional data, which can be analyzed and fed into service application. So the Service Cloud can utilize this data, what we gathered, to enable a customer 360-degree view, where agents will have their customer plans, which they've used in the past, usage metrics, what is their payment history, and how many service requests they have made in the past month, year, and what is their behavior analysis in the usage pattern. And this customer 360-degree view is going to serve them effectively to resolve the problem the very first time when they talk to them. Also, the same information can also be displayed on the customer dashboards, on the self-service portals for personalization. How much energy they have produced, where they can improve in terms of contributing to the social decarbonizations, and what are these submitted requests in the past, and what is their SLAs. So we can have the customer dashboards, and it can be used for your business areas in many different ways. Utilities can get complicated, especially with soaring costs and increasing, sometimes more frustrated customers when the bill is high. So giving agents a collaborative intelligence resources like AI-powered scripts, emotion and sentimental detection, and automated information using service platform lifts the experience for everyone involved, be it customer, service agent, organization as holistic. So advantages, it enables a true customer 360-degree view for utilities, allows self-service portals to submit inquiries, schedule appointments, and manage their accounts online, and enables personalized services for the consumers. Let's see the next use case. From sales standpoint of view, again, the CX platform out of the box capabilities, let's talk very quickly to that. The leads your marketing team is going to generate are going to be fed into your sales application. Now, the leads can be automated to convert into an opportunity based on certain rules and criteria. Then the sales team will have ability to review these opportunities, nurture them, and schedule meetings, follow-ups, see the KPIs of pipelines, forecasts in single sales application. Right? And sales team will be guided through multiple stages, be it qualification, be it negotiation or proposals. It will go through multiple stages all the way till closure, and a standard workflow will be given to your sales team. Based on the product, your sales cycle can be set up based on your product. So for solar, it can be different. For gas, it can be different. For commercial businesses, it can be different sales process. So these processes can be set up and configured in your CX sales application, and with KPI reports for your executive team. Right. I think we move to the next slide. Okay, thank you. So from the advantages standpoint of view, utilities customer data can have personalized offers, and you can upsell and cross-sell not only the regular commodities, you can do for your solar panels, additional products, thermostats, Wi-Fi's, etc. So you can target the customers and do the upselling, cross-selling using the sales application. So in the sales process, there will be products, pricing, and quote is going to come in. So that's where the next use case, which you guys might have seen the glimpse of it, the CPQ application. So let's move to the next slide and talk about the CPQ application. So the CPQ use case, it's defined as configure, price, and quote. It is again, for most of the organizations these days, is a must-have tool in CX space, where a team can have a guided, standardized code generation and negotiation processes. And if you need approval processes that certain discounts are being provided, the approval processes can also be easily configured using the CPQ applications. And this will increase the accuracy of your quotes. And these days, some of the clients which you might have seen, the quote went wrong, or some more discount has been given, the profits are being low when the mistakes or errors occur. So the CPQ here is going to help the team to maintain that accuracy and also set the right expectations to the customer for better experience for them as well. It can be used for any purposes: residential customers, condos, small businesses, waste management, green energy, propane businesses. It could be for any of the business models here. Especially here, the example of what we are going to talk about is the solar power company using the CPQ to ensure accurate, profitable pricing purposes. So by using this application, this will enable rapid Salesforce utility training. Newly hired salespeople will be productive quicker via guided selling. The solar organization here can automatically incorporate parts list revisions, price changes, approval workflows, and discounts, which eases the code generation for the entire sales team. And this will CPQ minimizes the risk and maximizes the value of products by protecting margins on sales and predictive revenue. let's really look at the advantages. The CPQ reduces the time to generate proposals, provides personalized offers, empowers sales, and accelerates pricing and improves the margins at your organizations. Next slide, please. Before we move on to the implementation example, let's go with a quick poll. You will be seeing, do you see customer service management as useful for your organization? A simple yes and no answer. Please take a few seconds and hit on the poll button, and we'll move to the implementation examples. Okay, thank you. So, okay. For this particular section, we are very fortunate to deliver multiple CX utility projects for 3 of the top 10 energy providers in the USA. We have seen in the initial slides as well. So interestingly, we had noticed a trend of having similar challenges for 2 of the clients. So let's go to the next slide, Rani. So we'll talk about these 2 implementations together with interest of time today. And let's see the first client in the next slide, and I'll explain about those client introduction. The first client is a Fortune 1000 public company based out of Northwest region with a retail revenue of 2 billion and targeting 80% carbon free by 2050. And let's see a quick introduction about the second slide. We had the similar set of challenges, and we implemented the solution. Of course, the environments are very, the business models are slightly different. So the second client is a New York-based energy company with $13 billion revenue, targeting 100% clean energy for their facilities by 2030. In the next slide, we will see the challenges which they had. Their challenges were with an outdated knowledge platform where team is unable to have workflows specific to their business need and unable to report any of the usage of the data and customer behavior. Lack of search capabilities, they were unable to search. Current application was not scalable with any of the integrations with cross applications, be it call centers or self-service portal. They were all silo standalone model. So they were really looking for a integrated knowledge management system. In the next slide, we'll see the solution, what we have implemented. So we have provided a solution with Knowledge Advanced tool of Oracle in this case, and integrated with their Oracle Utilities customer to meter application. Here in the center, you see the knowledge management application, which is sitting on top of the Service Cloud platform. It comes with a agent desktop and browser UI, which is where the application management is going to happen, and your staff can go ahead and create your content real time and publish them as well. And it will be within seconds. You can create the article and publish it readily available for your public customers, your legal teams. And again, it's all about profile based. You have complete control on who can view these articles. Next, at the bottom, you would be seeing the customer portal, where it is a self-service portal for both internal and external users. And the content will be, again, based on the user who is accessing. The user 1, user 2 will be logging onto the company page. User 1 can be your internal employee, user 2 can be a customer, and they will have their account logins. It will be integrated with single sign-on with company's Active Directory. So if you see on the rightmost side on the external systems, all legacy application data has been standardized and migrated to this particular platform. And application has been enabled with single sign-on integration with the company's Active Directory. and knowledge widgets have been enabled across the board, not only the customer to meter or call center applications. These widgets are plugged into any other locations in the organization as a single source of knowledge repository. Next slide, please. So the results from this solution at both clients are having this application available 24/7 with no downtimes, and personalized UI UX to reduce the navigation clicks. It saves a lot of time, and it eases, I would say it brings peace of mind for your agents, your customers to see the information handy. It has unified and structured content with branding guidelines. Like we have discussed, both customers are using this as a single source of knowledge repository across the organization. Search has been greatly improved with natural language, keywords. There are synonyms you can establish. You can put stop words, for example, if you can remove off the or prepositions kind of thing. You can put your stop words in the search, and you can build the context of the search. And you can even set up the external web crawling. If you have some other web pages to be crawled and show the results to your customers, that can be set up using this knowledge management tools. Ease of content authoring with standardized templates, and integration. We did talk about C2M, CCNB related integrations, or it can be integrated with any of your current existing platforms. It produces proactive and insightful analytics, and you can keep updating your content for the usage based. And scalability of application has been accomplished as well as part of this implementation. So this is our first area of implementation presentation which we have done, but at the same time, this has been done multiple times at multiple organizations by SoftClouds. In past few years, like I was saying, this is a trending in utility area. Next slide, please. Before we see the next implementation, this was related to Salesforce related application. Let's take a quick poll. This would be the last poll for today's session. So do you plan to implement a customer service platform in 2023? Again, a simple yes, no, maybe answer. Let's take a few seconds here and then move to the next implementation. So the next client implementation we are going to talk about is the client is a provider of natural gas and electricity for more than 5 million households, making a revenue of $20 billion. Next slide. So client is using a Salesforce platform for the CRM and CX applications. And they need very frequent dynamic changes on this application for their business model. And they have large teams. Each team might have 20 plus for each of those departments for managing the support related in CRM CX space. So challenges for this client were manual overhead of release management and inefficient use of environments for their parallel developments. Low frequency of releases, and there is no automation in deployment. There's no standard process when they're merging the particular changes. So, and no proper release calendar has been maintained. So the first implementation we have seen the CX space or knowledge management. This one is once we have the CRM applications, how can we effectively manage the application? Next slide, please. So here, with such a large-scale operation and large teams, team needed a proper release management for the Salesforce platform. Here we can see in the bottom row, we have introduced ALM tools, that is application lifecycle management tools like Jira has been used to capture the business user stories, where development team then creates a component in Salesforce for that user story. Then in the middle layer, you will see Copado as a release management tool for Salesforce, which can be configured for better visibility as well as the traceability of the requirements what we are going to deliver. So team will create this business requirements as a user story, select the component to build. A development team then will use the Git repository on the top to perform the changes and feature versioning control. Then they will perform the quality gate check once the development has been done for the validation related purposes. Cross-functional team can pull these requests as a peer review, make sure that there are no errors, or always the second eyes are going to reduce the errors and give more input. Right? So the peer review was key in this particular solution as well. And then it will be promoted to the next environment and manage the merge conflicts during the promotion and resolve any issues they had in terms of other teams' development. And then finally, it will be promoted into user acceptance testing and then deployed into production. So this is a well-established release management process at a large-scale enterprise-level organizations. This can vary based on your organization size. Not always you might need such ALM tools, Copado, and Git. It can be simple for simple businesses. It's one of the biggest projects which we have seen and implemented. So it's a good example to look from that perspective how bigger organizations are doing the CRM CX release management once they implement. Next slide, please. So with the interest of time, I'll quickly mention we have few questions which we need to take. 6 minutes left. So the results, it has a consolidated release plan, streamlined deployments, efficient parallel deployments, and we were able to manage refresh backups and get a complete lifecycle management tool and improve eventually the quality and solutions on time and frequent delivery for the customer. So those are the results. We have probably 6 to 5 minutes. Let's go to, oh, I think we have future of CRM CX. We might be running, my bad. So Renee, let's see if we can keep it a little faster pace. Apologies, I might have taken a little longer. Please go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. So sorry about the glitch earlier. I couldn't hear my co-presenter, but now audio is working fine. Okay, so as shown as this slide, there are several different technologies that will be used to improve CX at utility companies in the future. Some of these technologies are already being used, such as machine learning for predicting energy or water usage. And consumers are also using IoT devices, which is Internet of Things, like smart thermostats to conserve energy, or devices like smart sprinklers, which will reduce water usage at home and work. So you can take a look at some of the examples here. Okay, but the top technologies driving utilities are on this slide, and some of the technologies that were mentioned on the previous slide, like AI or artificial intelligence or IoT, Internet of Things, were already mentioned before, but there's other things like extended reality, digital twins, predictive analytics, self-service customer portals, and drone technology, which those are technologies that you didn't read about before. So most of these actually have a pretty good explanation as to how they're used on this slide. So I'm going to actually just jump, and if you guys have any questions about this, I actually just posted a new blog article about this topic on our website, so you can read more about these different technologies there. Okay, so I'm just going to jump really quickly into this slide, which is soft clouds and our services. So some of the previously listed technologies are ones that Soft Clouds has actually implemented at utility companies. For those of you who haven't heard of Soft Clouds, we're a CRM, CX, and IT solutions provider based in San Diego, California. And we were founded in 2005, and our consultants provide Oracle and Salesforce implementation and custom app ERPs and SaaS development. You could view some of our services on this slide. So now I'm going to move to the last part of our webinar, which is actually our Q&A section. So for anyone that needs to leave our webinar, I'll send you a follow-up email with a link to my new blog article, the one I just mentioned, which is called What's the Future of CX for the Utility Sector. I'll also send you a link to view the recorded webinar. For everyone else, Raghu will be helping me answer your questions. Okay. So let's start with, looks like the first question for Raghu is, we're a wastewater treatment center. Which CX solutions would be helpful for us?
Okay, Renee. So based on our implementation experience, I can say an end-to-end perspective, but it will vary for your use case. So from our experience, we see that Oracle CX and Salesforce CX solutions are highly customizable and offer features such as customer management, automations, and customer service tools, which you can keep stacking from the scalability standpoint of view. So our recommendation would be Oracle or Salesforce related CX tools.
Okay, it looks like, Raghu, we have another question. We're a green energy provider. What are some ways CPQ can help us?
Okay, CPQ can help at your organization for having accurate pricing, and you will be able to do quotes faster, reduce the risk of errors during your product configuration, and you can standardize your processes of sales in your organization. So you can improve the efficiency and accuracy, which will eventually lead to the increased revenue for your green energy provider. Please share us your use case a little bit more in detail so we can provide a detailed analysis on that. Appreciate it.
Okay, great. Okay, this third question is from a garbage and recycling company. How would a field service solution improve our workflow?
Okay. If we recall the field service use case which we have discussed, I will take some of the examples over there. So field service will improve the workflow at your organization by providing real-time scheduling, by ensuring the right technician has been sent to the right job. Be it you can manage the skill set of the technicians, and field service will be able to schedule them and managing the time slots, route optimizations, etc. Right? Technicians will be able to view and update their job on the mobile devices, and it can optimize the routes, and it can even manage the equipment tracking by reducing the risk of loss and damages. That is some of the area where we saw some of our field reps will say the equipment has been lost or damaged. How do we track it? So field service application will provide this overall package solution for your organization.
Okay, great. So let's see here. Next question. Okay, we supply propane directly to homes. How can using a CRM increase our ROI?
It would again depend upon the propane to home business case, and what are your current challenges you're having and your priorities, and what is the budget from your organization. So there are a lot of factors to pick which CX platform and what kind of applications within CX you need. So probably I'll take from end to end Obviously, our top two choices will be Oracle and Salesforce to look at from the scalability and even the product roadmaps and support standpoint of view from uh, the SaaS providers. Please do share your propane use case details more in detail, and we will be happy to review and get back with more appropriate use cases which suits your need.
Okay, so Raghu, we actually have actually more than two questions. We just received a new one from chat, but I'll ask you this question. It's actually a two-pronged one. What types of interfaces / dashboards are available, and how can these be displayed in real time in user areas?
Okay. In CX, they are both customer-facing interfaces for self-service and agent-facing interfaces for support. So there are many dashboards which can be easily configured based on the logged in user profiles and permissions. Example, customers can see their weekly energy usage data, projected next bills. From agents' perspective, there will be dashboards for managers on how our agents performing, how many first call resolutions have happened, what is the trend of the cases by day, week, month. What are the top 10 zip codes where issues have been reported? So these can be curated for the person who is logged into the application. So there are dashboards both for customers and agents, including the interfaces.
Okay, so Raghu, this is actually the last question, looks like. And I just received this message. How will your apps help manage the impending grid overload coming with full electrification?
Okay. So for this one, Renee, we will have to dig in more in detail about the grid overload. Basically, the CX will be able to utilize the grid data and will be able to help give a customer 360-degree view and automate in terms of notifications about, okay, here are the upcoming outages, here are the demand surges, but it needs the data analysis to be done and fed into CX space. So we will get back to the team with more details on the specific question, Renee.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your help, Raghu. Okay, so thank you everybody for attending our webinar. And if you have any questions about anything that we mentioned, please feel free to contact me using the information above, or I also, as I mentioned, will be sending you an email. Anyhow, have a great day, everybody. Thank you.